Hi, how you going, everyone? Hope you're well. It's a very hot summer's day here in Noosa, Australia. My name's Jo Williams and I am an energetic healer. And the reason I'm doing these Facebook Live videos is really to help everyone find themselves. So I hope you enjoy them as much as I enjoy giving them. I really love what I do. It's my life purpose, and it's taken me many years of, I guess, practicing of how to be myself to actually get the courage up to do this and to bring it to everyone in the world. Really is where I'm wanting, and not just for humanity and for the people here on Earth, but really for consciousness. There's a huge wave of conscious enlightenment taking place at the moment on planet Earth, and I feel like if everyone had the support that I have had over the last 40 years in a nutshell, perhaps then it would be easier for them to make the shift, because it's not always easy, I guess, to jump out of an aeroplane without a parachute. Okay, so hi everyone, welcome. It's really hot here today. I've got the fan on, but I'm boiling, so okay. So what I do with these videos, I try not to think too much about it before I do them, only because my personality tends to sabotage everything that I actually want to do in my life. So bear with me a little bit, because I haven't done a lot of I don't do a lot of prep work, and the reason I don't do a lot of prep work is because I really want the channel to be open to God, to consciousness, and I really want the message to be coming through. I really want the truth of the message to come through, not to be pre-organized or pre-spoken within my mind beforehand. So I'm hearing it for the first time, just like you guys are hearing it for the first time. I just happen to be a conduit or a medium for the energy or the information. So the thing I want to ask first is just, how is everyone? I just feel like people are having a really hard time. I want to say I've had a hard time, but it's different than hard. The energy is different than it was last year. Last year it felt like the ending for everyone, I think. I don't think people knew really where they were going or where they saw themselves in the future. And I feel like we've been given the opportunity this year to start again and really to do anything we want, and for it really to come from a soul space and a heart space, not from an ego space and a society space. So there's a real opportunity and a real, I can see people joining hands. So there's a real, group force, or collaboration, I suppose, of spirit, being present at the moment, rallying behind everyone to just be themselves, and to the word keeps popping out of my head. There's a lot of support here at the moment in the universe for people to show themselves, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so what I was going to say is, how is everyone doing? Because I feel as though people are having a hard time, and either a hard time understanding why they're having a hard time, or they're just a bit confused about what's going on this year. So energetically, let me just give you a breakdown of what's happening. So we're coming into a new age of energy. I could say it's a higher frequency, but it's a little bit different than that. It's more that there are more opportunities for people this year. So if anyone has ever had like a yearning, a soul's calling, a desire to be someone, to do something, and they haven't done it, now's the time to do it. Now's the perfect opportunity for you guys to get your message out there, to get who you are and what you are, and what you have to say across to the world. And there's a lot of barriers being broken down. It almost feels like humanity's ego has been is being kept quiet right now, just so that those people who do have a message, they are here for a purpose, they are wanting to reach their soul's calling, can do that without being knocked down. So I think sorry, I just dropped the phone. There's a perfect opportunity for you now to do what it is you've been feeling like you want to do, just haven't gotten around to doing it. Hey Lisa, how are you? Nice to see you again. Thanks for joining me. I just dropped the phone. Don't know if you caught that one. So let's have a look. Life. Today's subject is on life. So one of the first things I want to say to you guys is, how's it coming through? Rather than trying to understand life, because that will take a lifetime for you to get your heads around, Spirit, the universe, really want you guys to just go out and live life, and really wants you to experience life and experience being here. And you will have all had the experience of watching a child play, like a 2 or 3 year old child play. You take them out in the rain, they find a puddle, and they sort of live in the puddle. You take them swimming on a cold day, they think the water's fantastic. You give them food. It doesn't really matter what food you give them. They're just feeling the textures and taking it all in. That's really what you're here to do. As a soul having a human experience, you guys are here to experience life on Earth and to experience what it feels like to be awake, so to be your soul, and to be a human being at the same time. So for the next week, because I like giving you guys little tasks to do, what I want you to do is just 2 or 3 really simple things. So whether it's walking along the sand with bare feet, whether it's standing in the rain, whether it's going swimming on a colder day when you usually wouldn't go swimming, maybe kneading bread, or cooking with your hands. So I can just see someone tossing spaghetti with their hands. It's like getting back to experiencing life with no rules. And I'm not too fussed at the moment about the ego and about people taking this the wrong way. I feel like people listening to this message are pretty connected, wise human beings. I feel like you'd be drawn to watching these videos for a purpose, for a reason. Perhaps there's a real soul's calling, or you've been guided to listen to me because my message resonates with you guys. So we don't need to fear or worry that someone's going to take my message the complete wrong way and ruin everything. It's not going to work like that, because it's coming through from a godlike state. The intention and the energy and the healing that gets put out is very pure, I guess the word would be. It's very clean. It's a very clean line, and you'd all be able to feel that as well. So you're probably noticing actually by this video, if you've watched some of the others, that your intuition and your senses and just your general well-being is getting better. I don't necessarily mean that life's changing, because life is life and we're all human beings, and although we are going to see a shift on the earth energetically, it'll take a bit longer for the physical to catch up. But yeah, we're just going to have a really good time this next week. I just feel like there's been a bit of sadness around, and it's unexplainable sadness, and we don't need to go into that. Sometimes we carry energetically in our bodies things that have happened in this lifetime or in other lifetimes, or it could be what your soul has been through in order to actually get here, and make it. So just give yourself a pat on the back for actually being alive and for actually making it to 2017, and for having the opportunity to feel what it feels like to be an awakened human being. The energies are getting lighter. It's like the lessons are getting less, but they're not going to get less for people who aren't doing the work and who aren't interested in waking up. So on one hand, you guys, life's going to become easier. On the other hand, it will become heavier. But if you keep listening to your heart and you keep following what is true for you, and it doesn't matter what is true for you, just what makes your heart and soul sing, there will be a lift in the room. So when someone puts flowers in the room, it kind of lifts the ambience, it lifts the tone or the energy of the room. Things are going to feel like that, but because we're still healing emotional trauma of the physical and the spiritual, there will be a feeling of sadness even if it doesn't belong to you. So just be aware of that. So we are coming into a better time, but it will be through... How do I word it? It's like happy, sad tears. Like life's good, but you still can feel sadness, if that makes sense. Okay. Feels like there's a few questions going on in everyone's mind. So if anyone has a question they want to ask, first I'll just do a few shout outs, because I just feel so grateful that people actually connect and listen to me. I just love what I do so much. I'm having so much fun sharing what I know with people, and I've worked so hard to get to this point in my life. And if I can just help one person in one day have a better understanding of themselves, or share a connection that I have to the universe with others, then that would put a smile on my face. So I said hi before, but a big shout out to Lisa again. Hello, Lisa. Hi, Evie. How you going? Hey, Julie. Nice to see you. Thank you. Hi, Kerry. How are you? Thanks for listening. So does anyone have any questions to start off with? It feels like the energy's coming through really, really quickly today. Feels like lots of people have a lot to say. So I'm totally happy for people to share. The other thing I wanted to say is, if I don't get an opportunity to answer your questions all during the live feed, I always try and go back and look at what everyone's written and answer questions. If I haven't done that yet, I'm really sorry. Me and technology, it's like the fact that I'm on Facebook Live is a miracle, because I'm not exactly sure how to use technology very well, and so I'm just trying to figure it out. So if you ask a question one day and I don't get an opportunity to answer it live, I will go back and look at the questions and do my very best to answer them all for you. I just I had a bit of trouble doing that last week, only because I'm not technology minded. I think that's the word. So is there anyone have any questions, or going through a rough time at the moment, or have sort of feels like a bit of confusion in people's brain of just what it is they're supposed to be doing with their life or this year round? The biggest message I can give you is to be yourself. And I remember someone asking me one time, how do you be yourself? Well, I've spent my lifetime learning and studying and learning techniques in order to be able to do this work. And it feels like I'm actually dropping a lot of that work, or dropping a lot of the study I've done, and just trying to, because now I've started to have a bit more confidence in myself, I'm starting to just be myself, which is naturally someone who is in tune or has a gift of tuning in or channeling. You guys will find that your life purpose is really something. Hi Beck, so good to see you. Awesome, thank you. Your life purpose is really something that you're naturally good at. You may have to come over human obstacles. However, you were kind of born with it. It's sort of innate to you. So growing up in a family where my parents were very, my dad's a scientist, my mum's very psychic and connected. We had the strangest things going on in our household as children. We had spirits there. We had lights going on and off. We had objects being flown across the room, and there was 4 children, and we all used to see it. And it was like the word paraphernalia. No, it's not that. Whatever it's called, something phenomenon. Whatever it's called, like ghosts, like spirits. We had spirit talking to us the whole time. And what's it called? Paranormal? Paranormal. Is it paranormal phenomenon? Phenomenon. I always hear what I'm supposed to say, and I can't seem to ever get the words out correctly, so bear with me. But yeah, okay, cool, awesome, being laughed at, great, love it when spirits laughing at me. Hi Jen, how are you going? Nice to see you. Paranormal phenomenon. How do you say that word? Phenomenon. Oh my God. Hang on, I'll try one more time. Phenomenon. Is that it? Phenomenon. Oh my God. Doesn't sound right, but it's paranormal phenomenon, whatever it is. Okay, thanks, Julie. Okay. What was I going to say? I've made myself all embarrassed because I don't know how to say the proper word. But I'm going to get over it anyway and just do what I'm supposed to be here to do. So, lots of questions, guys. The energy is just coming through. And I'm here being of service to you guys. So, so if you have any questions about life, about paranormal phenomenon, whatever, then ask the question, because I'm totally open. The line is clear. The one thing that I can say that I have is a connection to spirit, okay? I may not be able to say words correctly. My spelling's not fantastic, or my punctuation. However, I can hear God. Awesome. Points to me. Oh dear. Okay, so what else are they saying? Okay, so let's just ask people, what's something that you've always wanted to do that you've never done because you're either too scared or too shy or too insecure or too worried what people will think or too old. Like, I just turned 40 last week, or no, this week, and one of the biggest things I've been going through is just feeling old. And I know it's all not true and it's in my head, but it's like one week I'm 39, the next week I'm 40. I look in the mirror and I just think, where did all these wrinkles come from? And nothing's changed because it doesn't change that quickly. But it doesn't change that quickly. But it's you just the crap you tell yourself so that you don't be yourself, or that you don't share yourself with people is absolutely huge. And look, again, Spirit's telling me to share my life story. Awesome, thank you so much. So a little bit of sarcasm in there if you hadn't realised that, because part of me going on Facebook Live is getting over my fear or my embarrassment about sharing who I am. It's just going to keep, I know, it's just going to keep getting more and more and more. I'm just going to have to keep sharing stuff about myself, so I may as well do it here and now. And then it helps you guys feel comfortable. But I am currently single at the moment, and I have 2 lovely children. And literally, like, I feel like there are so many rules to dating and to being with somebody. and to what kind of guy you should date, and to society's idea of, you know, how old I am and how old my partner should be, and rah, 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 rah. But I kind of feel like, I don't know, I kind of feel like a teenager again. I just feel like having fun, and I feel like age is almost irrelevant. So what I want to say is, if you guys are like 50 and you want to go skydiving and your brain's saying you can't go skydiving, you're 50, or I really want to wear a bikini but I'm a size 16, you know what? Like, just if it's going to bring you guys joy, if it's going to make you happy, if it's helping other people, if it makes your heart sing, then why not do it? Like, I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to be on thinking, look at that really happy woman. Look at that lady that is a little bit larger than what society says is normal, and look at how much fun she's having on the beach in a bikini. Like, I'll be sitting there going, look at that awesome lady. Wow, where does she get her courage from? How awesome is she that she can wear bathers on the beach when I'm still having issues with it? Like, I love this woman. She has got something that I want to know about. I want her to tell me what the trick is to feeling comfortable in your body wearing bikinis on the beach. I mean, she could sell that. That could be her thing. That could be her life purpose. So you guys got to see that being yourself, having money, being happy, it's really organic. More organic than you think. Kind of like crazy organic. Like, the more you don't hold back and you just let your heart sing, there is a industry in that for you. There is something that other people want to hear in that for you. They want to share. They want to share that experience. They want to be how you're feeling. So if you're feeling connected to something, anything, guys, it can be anything. Share it with the world. I mean, for me, I find this very easy. I do. I love it. I've always loved it. But things like cooking, ask me to cook, okay? If I had got like a friend or a guy and he came around, the last thing I would do is invite him around for dinner, okay? Because I didn't learn that, and it doesn't bring me much joy. So I would much prefer to go out and eat at a restaurant and have someone else cook for me than cook myself or to cook for someone. So that's, if I could learn a way of cooking at home that was easy and simple and it was non-judgmental, which I know people are non-judgmental, but I think there's a sort of ego that comes through with society. So it was from the heart, it was from my soul, and they helped me understand food a little bit better and how to cook. I want to learn that. It would make my heart sing too, that person had something that they could share with me that was going to be, if they were humble with themselves. So it feels like there's a few questions coming through. So yes, Lisa, if that's what you're feeling like you should do it, seriously. She's saying go live on Facebook. It's awesome. It's kind of like not coming out, feels like, but it feels like coming out to the world. It's liberating. It's liberating. And I feel most happiest when I'm here. So, this morning I woke up and thought, I'm feeling a bit flat and nothing really is that great happening, and don't really know if anyone on Facebook really wants to hear my message because it always seems to be the same. But then I actually get on Facebook Live, I press the live feed, and I start the energy, and I bring the information through. Like, you can see it on my face. I'm like, okay, how am I going to energy? I'm feeling really flat. All right, so one thing I want to tell you guys is that you're very brave listening to me on Facebook Live, and I really commend your authenticity in being able to not only listen to me but ask your questions, because when I do the Facebook Live, I will be answering questions live, and
for some of you, that'll be a little bit scary because I'm sharing your questions, sharing the information I'm getting with everyone. But what you need to realise is that this is a really open forum. It's a very safe environment. It's a really beautiful network of human beings who are just wanting to understand themselves more. And if one person has the courage to ask a question that could help us by the information that comes through, then good for you. You're an amazing human being. So, Beck, I will be answering your question live, and I will be sharing the answers with everyone. But just know that you're not only helping yourself, you're helping everyone that will ever listen to one of these videos from now until, I guess, the energy is active for eternity. So, eternity. So the question was, how can I get a boost of energy when I'm feeling really flat? So the thing for you, Beck, is that you're holding a lot of sadness and anger, and it's almost like you're confused because a part of you is a really happy, joyful, sprightly human being, and you don't want to experience the down part of life or the sad part of life. You're only wanting to choose the happy part of life. You're refusing to acknowledge the sadness, I suppose. So if you could look at life as being a journey, I suppose. You would have heard the saying before, a journey and not a destination. I don't really think anyone enjoys feeling down or feeling sad. But if you guys could take the stigma off feeling sad, or the stigma away from trauma, or the stigma away from not having a good day or being tired or down, it allows you the opportunity to open up for that moment and be sad or be tired or be down. And you'll find that in a moment of sadness, there's also an amazing moment of joy that comes afterwards. And often if we allow ourselves to feel, it won't be for as long as we previously have thought or intended. So you're sitting there saying, okay, like the sadness in you is like, I have to feel my sadness. I have to get it out. And the happy side of you is like, don't feel sadness. You're going to ruin my day. I just want to go out and have a good time with my friends and family and be happy while I'm here. And the sadness is like, if we don't feel a sadness, we're going to burst. And then things like, this is where say alcoholism comes from, or drug addiction, or any addiction, or food issues come from. They come from an inability for the human being to be flexible with our emotions. And often if you allow yourself to feel your emotion, whether it's happy or sad or, inappropriate laughter at whatever time it may be, it's a moment. It is a moment, like the soul just... the joy the soul feels in expressing itself, or the joy the soul feels in expressing the human self, that's what I want to say, is so great and so grand that you will soon not be attached to the stigma of the ego of how people see feeling down or feeling tired. So for you, Beck, I get it's about you allowing yourself to show how you really feel to people, and to letting people know that you're actually sad and that you're struggling and that you're having a hard time. Even if you're okay, it's still important if someone says, how are you going, to say, I'm really good, but I just feel really flat today. Like I'm just feeling like I'm dragging my feet. I'm not sure what it is. And you're not doing it for attention. You're not doing it for necessarily a hug. You're not doing it for more friends. You're doing it because a part of you feels like it might break if you don't release that. If you don't release that out. The other thing is exercise is really helpful. Exercise is really helpful at letting out unspent energy, especially anger and emotions. In saying that, though, we're still human, so I can't promise or guarantee that you're not still going to have a moment in time where you stop and you shed a tear from time to time. The biggest thing is that we need to get over the fact that there's a problem in doing that. And then when we release the ego's attachment to our emotions, it allows joy to shine through. So have you guys ever heard of happy crying, where you're so happy because you might be watching like a sunset, and you're so happy because the sunset is so beautiful that you cry? It feels like once you guys allow your emotions, there'll be more happy crying. It will sort of like both feelings at once, like a happy sad, rather than like a very heavy sad. And the other thing, Beck, I wanted to say, how can you get a boost of energy when you're feeling flat? Don't eat sugar is an answer. But the answer is to feel your feelings. For 5 minutes, feel your feelings, and your energy will shift and feel a lot happier than it was 10 minutes before you were blocking what you were feeling or what you didn't want to feel. So okay, so Evie has asked the question, I'm having a challenge with having inconsistent income. What do I need to do within myself to manifest consistency in finance? I feel this is showing up in my life because I feel like I'm missing something. Interesting. It's a similar answer. It's got to do with your happiness, Evie, and it's got to do with showing people who you really are. So there's a part of you that still thinks that the world's not ready for Evie, or the world's not ready to see what you really do, or the world can't possibly take on Evie because you're such a big present. You have such a big, in a good way, you're such a loud, bright person. The answer is, how can the world accept and take on Evie? So I know you like it, and I understand the line you're going down, but perhaps you need to broaden your view on how Evie can be expressed in society. So for you, Evie, I'd be asking, what other things could you do with hair accessories that are expressing your authentic self, that are showing people who you are? So I remember when I was growing up, scrunchies. Do you remember scrunchies were a thing? Or hair clips were a thing. The only thing that says what's in fashion is the ego. And ego's not even the truth. So let's screw the ego. Let's just bring back what feels good. Evie, you have so much presence. You're such a for so many women on earth, and for you, you sort of say it loud and proud, and for you it's getting outside and being your authentic, bright, bubbly self without feeling ashamed or like you're too intense. But there's a whole market of products that you could be selling that have to do with Evie. You do hair, so you're limiting yourself to like a very small channel of people, when you could be doing much more with your with your merchandise, I suppose, and selling on getting more product out. Does that make sense? I feel like you might have another question coming through about that, Evie. So if you do, you can ask another question. But it's about broadening your idea of how the world wants to see you. So, for example, I've been doing this now for an income for 7 years. And I always wanted to do it over the phone, readings over the phone for people, because I felt more comfortable with people not seeing my face and not seeing who I was as a person. I felt like I could hide, and as long as I gave them the message over the phone, then they'd be happy. But I realised that there is a whole market of where people want to see me and be around me in person, and I've really had to step outside my comfort zone in order to be able to do that, and to now offer one-on-one sessions as well as over the phone and now Facebook Live, and then the events I'm going to be doing later on this year. So I've had to think outside the square and think more, what do people want rather than what am I willing to give people. It's still me sharing me, but in a more uncomplicated way, if that makes sense. Happy to answer another question, Evie, if you have another question following what I've said. Yep. Great. Okay. Yes. Awesome. So let's have a look. What else is coming? What else is coming up? So the other thing is, I guess today's is about life. The other thing is just the questions coming up is just, what do we do? Like, what do we do while we're here? The answer is live your life. The answer is step outside your comfort zone. The answer is have some fun. The answer is show your soul what it is to have a good time. We're so confined by the restrictions we put on ourselves, whether society or the government or the planet or the ego, whereas the soul just came here to have an experience. While there are still, rules, a healthy flow in order for you to actually stay alive and to function, there's so much we're not doing. Like, since I've had children, I don't really go out anymore, or don't really have as much fun as I used to have before kids, because I'm worried about what my kids will think, because I don't want to be judged, rah, rah, rah. But then having fun and going out and being with friends was one of my favourite things to do, going out dancing, socialising. So it's about saying, okay, I will stop that, but how can I do that, and how can I integrate that in a way that is healthy for me and my lifestyle and my children? So, yeah, okay, cool. So the answer is not to keep putting lots of this to your expression, to your self-expression, but in fact taking the lid off and expressing yourself more now more than ever. So life should be challenging but rewarding. It's not about it being hard and restrictive. It's the opposite. It's about challenging yourself to reach goals that are enlightening, that bring happiness, that bring joy. And it's the challenge, it's the journey from the decision from now until the challenge that's the hard part. It's not about cutting off your creativity to fit into a box that society or family or other people have made for you. So Evie has got the second question back like I thought she would have one. Let me have a look. So would it be helpful for me to do a survey to see what they want? I think that'd be really great, Evie. I think you already know what they want. I think you're too shy to put it out there. It feels to me like a lot of your ideas have sort of been seen before. And so what we sometimes think is like, for example, for me, I'm like, well, I don't, why should I go on Facebook Live? Or why should I do mentoring sessions or healing for people? There's already healers in the earth. There's already people doing what I do. And I seem to always find people that are doing it better somehow. That's just life. Life's always going to show you what you're not doing. It's like Murphy's Law. It's like you decide to get this fab new haircut that no one's got, and you go out and you realise it's on trend, and everyone has a fab new haircut, and you think, God, every time I do something new, everyone always does it the same. So what's the point? There's always going to be blocks and reasons and people and society and beliefs and energy and kids and drama and whatever trying to stop you from being you. That's almost like the challenge, I guess, of being on Earth. The challenge is to have all that, ignore all that, and to do it anyway. So Evie, for you, you need to go brighter, bigger, brighter, louder. I know you tend to do your African braids, but I was getting for you last week actually that you should look into just braiding hair, not just African braiding, but braiding hair in general. I saw one of those pictures you put up. You're so gifted, you're so talented, you're so raw in who you are as a human being, which is a great thing. People want your essence. They're not really after your hair braids. I mean, they are because it's a skill, but they're actually after your soul, Evie. They want to feed on your soul. They want to know who you are. So for you, I would think, what can you do that you're not currently doing that could bring in an income that won't cost you any more money to start doing? And the first thing I get is just regular braiding. So, you know when you go to Bali and you get your hair braids done? They're not necessarily cornrows, they're not necessarily African braiding, but you get hair braided. So for you, it's about, that's really what makes your heart sing. And if that's really what makes you feel connected to your true self, God, your higher self, your soul, whatever word you choose to use, I would do that. I would be selling, I would be doing what you're doing, but doing more hair and more hairstyles for people. So that what's coming up is children's parties. You could do hairstyles. You could do at the markets. You could do braiding. You could do wedding hair. You could do. You could teach people how to braid. So remember how I was saying before about if there was someone who was living their life purpose and theirs was cooking, and they could teach me in a non-ego way that didn't make me feel stupid, that I hadn't learned how to cook, how to work with food in a way that was authentic with myself. So Evie, I can't do hair. I can't braid hair. Do you know how many women out there would like to know how to braid and do their hair? Like, you could have tutorials on how to do hair and how to braid hair. There's so many options for you. The thing is, you've got to get outside of your head and think less logical. So you and don't ask someone who's logical minded for advice, because if you're coming from your soul space, they'll just confuse you, which probably makes you guys feel more confused. But you guys, the people who have been listening to these live feeds, you all have a spark. You're all special. You're all important, and you kind of know that. There's like a secret little feeling that you've sort of secretly always known that. We just haven't really fitted in, or the time wasn't right for us to express our crazy laugh, or our amazing idea, or our eccentric lifestyle, or our hair braiding techniques, or our emotions. Like, lo and behold, I burst into tears when it's a happy day. Like, so sorry for having feelings. It's like the world doesn't know what's coming. You guys start living your life purpose, you start doing what you do, there is just going to be an explosion of colour on the planet. And the joy that we're going to bring people's lives for sharing just a little bit of our light is just going to be so warming and so enlightening and so needed at this time. We're so starving for authenticity and for the soul's truth that I'm really proud of you all. I'm really proud of you all taking the time to tune in and listen. I mean, you've sat through the video. Let's have a look what the time is. For almost an hour of your time. That's dedication, you guys. You're special. There's something unique about every single one of you. And you all have your unique signature. Like your unique signature and blueprint, and a reason for why you're here. And it's not to copy other people's information that they've told you. It's to do what you've learnt in your own authentic way. So
if you want to be a mechanic, yes, you've had to learn the human skills of being a mechanic, but how you choose to energetically be the mechanic is what will be your soul's calling. Hi Dan, how are you? Thanks for listening. Okay, so are there any more questions out there? I got a question. How do I do my hair? Evie? I want to see a Facebook Live video on that. All right, so let's have a look. Life. So life is supposed to be enjoyed, guys. And if it's enjoyed by having a good cry, then that's what you're going to do. If it's enjoyed by having a big mouthful of chocolate cake, then that's what you're going to do. If it's enjoyed by going to bed early because you're better for your children when you wake up, if you've had, 10 hours sleep, that's what you're going to do. It's not about judging from the ego's perspective what is right and wrong. It's about asking the soul, how does it feel about bawling your eyes out right now? Well, that actually feels really, really freeing and feels quite right because I've been bottling it up all day. Or how does the soul feel about having a good couple of glasses of wine? Well, bloody great, because I've had a really tough week and it's fun sometimes to have a drink. Or I'm going to go on a detox for a month or a juice fast. How does that feel for the soul? Oh, it feels so refreshing. It's so refreshing. How does it feel for the soul to do exercise or meditate? I'm trying to give you guys examples of what the humanness says is good and bad. So you can see that if the soul desires cake, it's because it's fun, and it might be like a little bit naughty, and the soul's trying to feel, I don't know, giddy or silly at that time, so it has cake. But it's not a bad thing. If you wake up and you need a day in bed, how does the soul feel? Just relaxed, relieved, really relieved that we're going to enjoy bed for the day because we've been working really hard. I know that I can feel it. You're all itching to do what you're here to do. If anybody wants to share anything that's coming up, a little bit of they know what they want to do, but you're just a bit afraid to say it. So let me see if I've got one, okay? Okay, so this is what I've been working towards. So this year I'm going to get not only on live Facebook, but on stage. So I'm actually going to go around Australia and do a few retreats that are coming up in Bali. And it's all going to be about what I'm doing in Facebook Live, but really teaching people how to feel God, I suppose. And God for me is the universe. So how to feel God, how to feel love, how to feel authentic. There's a little bit of a practice, I'll well, that's for my events, which I'll tell you all about later. But I've always been someone who kind of wants to be on stage. Like, my whole family told me my whole life that I should be a comedian and that I have to be on stage. And I pretty much just, as I got older, I started telling them, no, don't say that. Because it was almost like they were saying, I don't know, things that were too good or too nice about me. And I decided some really negative things about myself. So I didn't like to hear that I was worthy of doing great things. But I love making people laugh. I love being funny. I love being silly. I love a good joke. I'm 40. I feel about 3 years old. Seriously, this is expressions for me. This is how I express myself. I express myself by telling the truth. And lo and behold, I'm telling the truth and doing what it is I love, and yet it's somehow working and people are responding. So, there's a little
there's a little trick, not a trick, there's a little message in that for all of you there. So let's have a look. Julie has a question. So why aren't I doing it? Feels like I'm petrified. Well, okay, Julie, you're stubborn. You're as stubborn as a mule, and you're waiting for things to look better or for things to be perfect. And I can tell you what, they're never going to be perfect, my love. You're an imperfect person. We're all imperfect. Like, what is perfection? I mean, if I sat here now and even took a minute to look at myself, I literally took seconds to get on Facebook Live, because if I take any longer, I'm going to pull apart the way I look, my wrinkles, the state of who I am. Don't do that. Don't think. Don't prepare to prepare. Just deliver. So, Julie, you're overqualified. You know too much now, and what's happened is it's becoming what's the word? It's almost becoming now too much to step out, because if you step out with the qualifications you have, with the beginning of what you want to do, it's almost like you're going to say to someone, well, I'm going to teach you how to eat a pear, but I'm an astronaut. Well, again, as humans, we're here to have an experience. So if you've studied to be an astronaut as a human because you chose to have that experience, but yet what you feel makes your heart sing and your soul sing is teaching people how to eat pear, then who's to judge that you decide that you had the experience of an astronaut? Like, you had the experience of an astronaut because that brought you happiness. But what's bringing you happiness now is sharing how to eat a pear with people. So you can never be too qualified or too underqualified to share your authenticity, to be your true self. And don't allow other people to let you know that because you haven't been in a field that you're wanting to work in now, that you don't have what it takes to be successful. It's so not true. Like, I've just spent my whole life judging myself and giving myself time because I wasn't good enough to do what I wanted to do. And I didn't even really know what I wanted to do, because being a psychic wasn't an option when I was in high school. It wasn't like, what subjects do you want to choose at school? You can choose science, maths 1, maths 2, English, geography, graphics, and a psychic. Oh, actually, yes. A psychic and a medium are on here for year 11 and 12. Choose that. Like, that shit didn't exist. So for me to find out what I've wanted to do, it's almost been it's come through from trauma and experiences that I didn't want to have, that led me to I suppose the spiritual realm or the healing realm or the energetic realm. And I found a lot of respite there. So it wasn't perfect and it wasn't perfection, but I've decided to not look for perfection anymore. I've decided to go with what makes me feel good. And what makes me feel good is doing this. And I don't think I could ever be more prepared than I am now, because I'm really not any more prepared than I was when I was 16. The only difference is I have 24 years of practice of being unprepared. It's allowed me now to think, for God's sake, Joanna, just go and do it. Just pull your finger out, go and do it. It's kind of like asking someone out on a date. And you know you like them. You can feel it. But you're too scared to say anything. And then you do it, and they're like, oh my God, I like you too. And you're like, oh my God, I've liked you for a really long time, but I didn't say anything because I was too worried. I was too afraid of what you'd say or what people would say or what society would say, because you know you're not what my family told me to go for, or you're not what society thinks is okay. It's never going to be okay. The only place it'll be okay for you guys It's your heart. Your heart. Your heart. Heart to have an expression, whatever that may be. And people aren't stupid. People feel authenticity. People get you. They can tell. They can tell if you're being a dick or if you're being true to you. Like, I honestly am just trying to be myself when I go on these Facebook Lives. And in being myself, I have a natural connection to God. And the information just comes in. But I'm not trying to fool you guys or give you a false idea of the truth or to blackmail you or to have an expectation of what I expect to be the outcome. I would be doing this, guys, whether there was one of you or whether there was 1,000 of you, because it makes my soul sing. It makes me feel really happy. And it's, I mean, my dad is a scientist. You can imagine how difficult it was growing up as a psychic with a scientist as a father. And every time I told him there was a dead person or a ghost or you know, the flashing lights going on and off in the kitchen were like a sign from the universe, and my dad telling me I was delusional, well, he didn't mean to be horrible. That's just all he knew at the time. So you can imagine how hard it was for me growing up. I didn't grow up in a life where it was like, I didn't grow up in a life where it was cool to have this gift. I didn't grow up in a life where I was supported by family and friends to be intuitive. It was quite the opposite. I grew up where it was cool to finish school and go to university and marry some rich dude and, you know, be a housewife. Well, I completely screwed that shit up. And in screwing it up, I found what I wanted to do. So I can't really be angry at the way my life has been, because it's shown me my path. And so I guess we all have to just take a step back and be grateful for how we've arrived to where we've arrived today, knowing that spirit or the universe or your soul has an intention for you, and it's actually a very nurturing, loving, supportive intention. And each move that's been made by your friends or by your family or by society or by the government is actually all a part of this great, amazing picture of the universe's way of getting you to wake up and realize yourself. I feel like there's been so much coming out of me today. Does everyone else feel as pooped as I do after all that? Oh, what's the time? All right, so final questions. Anyone have any more questions at all? And if and when I figure out the technology, I will intend to go back and answer any questions I haven't had a chance to answer. So also it's important for you guys to know that if someone else watches a video or you don't watch it live or you share a video on, the energy I bring through is relevant from now until really forever, because I'm tuning into the truth of all that is through God or the universe. It's intended to help people not just now but in their time of need. So yeah, if you're feeling an inkling to share the video with someone or to get someone to watch next time, I'd be really grateful. It'd really mean a lot to me. It's my purpose here on earth to share what I know in order to help other people. So if you're getting the little message to share the video on, then you can do your part as well in helping me get my message out. And of course, if there's anything I can do for you guys in the meantime, please don't hesitate to contact me. As time goes on and my head of the class, I will be having a bit more access for people in things like a website. I've got a website now, but hasn't really been active for a while, but like a website and I can't even think of the other stuff, but it's all coming together. It'll all come together in perfect time. So if you know someone that wants to talk to me or that could do with a session or that wants to watch Facebook Live, at the moment it's through Jo Williams on Facebook. I have another page that's called Life's Answers from Within with Jo Williams. You can also find the videos there. They'll just be recorded though. Let's see, anything else I want to say? I just love you all. I really do love you all. We are being told to say from the universe, we love you all. You're all a precious gift, every single one of you. None of you have forgotten about or left behind or ignored. And if you just start to ask next Friday, it looks like I'm doing these every Friday now because the kids are back at school. So next Friday I'll see you guys at the same time. Till then, have a great day. Enjoy the weekend. Love you. Thanks so much for tuning in. Speak soon. Okay, bye. Now I can't turn it off. Okay, I'm going now. This is the real time. Okay, I'm going. Okay, bye.